What's the most embarrassing way you've ever seen someone get rejected at school? Trevor had been hyping this up for months. I'm talking 3 solid months of cafeteria whispers, bathroom mirror rehearsals, and late-night text rants about destiny. He wasn't planning to just ask Madison out, he was preparing a full Broadway production. Now, Trevor wasn't exactly the smoothest guy on campus. He was the type who still traded Pokemon cards in homeroom, and once tried to convince our science teacher that chocolate milk counted as a protein source. But in his head, Madison was his soulmate. She was quiet, artsy, always sketching in her notebook with her earbuds in. Most people would have, started a conversation. Trevor decided the only way forward was a cafeteria proposal big enough to land him in the yearbook. By the time Wednesday lunch rolled around, the entire school was buzzing. Word had spread like wildfire. Trevor's doing it today. Kids were betting on how bad it would go. Teachers were bracing for chaos. Even the lunch lady looked excited. Then it happened. Trevor marched in carrying the most chaotic bouquet I've ever seen. Half-wilted roses, random daisies, what looked suspiciously like grocery store carnations, like he'd raided 3 different clearance bins and smashed them together. His face was bright red, but he powered through, stomping toward Madison's table like a knight heading into battle. The cafeteria went dead silent. Phones shot into the air. Trevor dropped to one knee right there in front of the art kids and launched into a speech that sounded like it had been ghostwritten by Shakespeare's awkward cousin. Madison, he declared, voice cracking. From the moment I saw you across the lunchroom, I knew our fates were entwined among the stars. Everyone around me was biting their lips, trying not to laugh. Madison, she froze, totally blindsided. Trevor powered through, pulling out dramatic hand gestures he'd clearly been practicing in the mirror. He compared her to the Morning Sun, the Mona Lisa, and, this is real, the limited edition Charizard that completes my collection. The art kids were staring at him like he'd just spilled juice on their sketchbooks. Finally, with a trembling voice, Trevor held up the tragic bouquet and asked, "Madison, will you be my girlfriend?" Silence. Madison stared at him for a full 5 seconds before whispering, "Trevor, I barely know you. I'm sorry, but no." The gentle delivery somehow made it 1,000 times worse. Phones kept recording. Trevor stayed frozen on one knee, flowers dangling like he hadn't downloaded the rejection yet. And that's when the fatal blow landed. Nathan, varsity basketball starter, 6'3", effortlessly cool, stood up from the next table. He didn't have flowers, he didn't kneel, he didn't even raise his voice. He just walked over, hands in his hoodie pocket, and asked, "Hey Madison, wanna hang out after school?" She smiled. "Yeah, that sounds fun." The cafeteria exploded. Kids were standing on chairs, clapping, cheering like someone hit a game winner at the buzzer. Tables banged. Someone started chanting Nathan's name. Trevor was still kneeling on the floor, watching his universe collapse in 4K. Madison and Nathan swapped numbers right there in front of him. She was grinning ear to ear, while Trevor looked like he just watched his house burn down. Eventually, Trevor stood up, still clutching those flowers, and did the slowest walk of shame back to his table. His friends tried to pat him on the back, but the damage was done. Phones were out. TikToks were already being edited. One kid was narrating the whole thing like a sports commentator, and that's a devastating loss for Trevor in the 4th quarter. To make it worse, Madison later admitted she'd been waiting for Nathan to ask her out for weeks. Trevor had been rehearsing bathroom monologues while Nathan was casually playing the long game. Trevor disappeared to the library for the rest of lunch. By 8th period, those sad flowers had already made 3 appearances on TikTok, each set to sad violin music. The captions were brutal. "When you shoot your shot and get blocked by LeBron." The legend spread instantly. By the next day, Trevor was officially cafeteria proposal guy. Madison and Nathan were walking the halls holding hands, while Trevor sat in the corner sipping chocolate milk like a war veteran who'd seen too much. To this day, whenever someone at school talks about rejection, someone always brings up Trevor's big moment. And honestly, he'll probably go down in history as the only guy who got friend-zoned and upstaged in the same 30 seconds. The last time I saw him with flowers was at prom, and let's just say he gave them to his mom.